introduce the show.
Oh, are we ready? Oh, hey everyone. Welcome back to Shut Your Mouth. I am Monica, and that is Sam the No Man. Just kidding, Sam the Man. Welcome back. We are excited that you're with us on this journey, and I'm happy to be here, Sam. Are you
Well,
happy to be here?
yeah,
Me too.
I want to say thank you to everyone
Yes.
who they're seeing us on our social. We're putting out some funny stuff. We want to make people laugh. We want, there's some learning, there's some communication, marriage type things that we're doing, but we're also being funny. And maybe if someone's watching this episode, just let them feel because they're like our friends and family. They're concerned right now that I'm being a bit abusive. Can
That
you?
you're being abusive or that I'm being abusive?
Well, just
Because
clarify that it's all in
um
good fun.
I don't appreciate the way you're making me look in those videos. And by the way, they're not scripted. Someone asked me, are they script? Well, actually, a few people. They're not scripted. Sam, if y'all don't know Sam, y'all don't know Sam. But he lives in this SNL world. Everything is an SNL skit. And so, you know, that's why we've been married so long. Because we can have
Monica,
fun.
Monica,
Oh my gosh.
I am your husband.
Oh my gosh, get that away from me. I'm trying to look good over here on the
All right,
camera.
let's start the show.
So, I just wanted
Yeah,
to
you hold the power of the
I just wanted to
fake
discuss
lifesaver.
some things from the last pod that we had. Okay? This feels funny, by the way. I'm gonna cut your hand off.
Here,
Zoom.
here, give it to me.
Zoom.
Ah!
So on the
Keep
last pod,
For real, give
I
it to me.
said a joke.
A jokey
You
joke.
just snatched that out of my hand, Sam.
Just do the show, okay?
Apologize,
I
Sam.
apologize for this, like humanity
Oh my gosh.
evolving
Anyways,
into these creatures that get offended and like want apologies for the small
Sam,
things.
Sam, shut your mouth.
Will do. Please continue.
Mhm. So I just wanted to address a few things that I said, um, or a couple of things that I said on the last pod. The first one was I kind of made a joke and you kind of skipped it when I was like, "Ooh, you're on the B mic," right? And then you were just like, "Move on." I just want to clarify. There was no ill intended in that statement
Why did
because
it hurt my feelings so much?
the B mic is actually very important. Sometimes
Hold my hand while you say this part.
No, it's okay. I'm holding my pen. Sometimes when we have a B mic, it makes the A mic even better
Okay.
because you balance
No
each
hate.
other out. So yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that there's nothing wrong with being the B mic because there's a lot of things that are like B's. Like for example,
I don't know
listen,
what she's gonna say.
listen. For example, a principal has a vice principal, right?
Right.
And a principal really needs a vice principal. A teacher, and then they have their aides.
Yes.
Some grades don't have aides, but I appreciate my aide. If I didn't have an aide in my classroom, I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I love her. Her name is, well, we call her Mudgy. Mudgy, I love you so much. But even like a husband, right? A father, he has a mother or a wife.
You don't
And,
need to go
you know,
down so deep.
So I don't know. Maybe it's nonsense, but I just wanted to clarify that. And then the
Breathe.
I'm doing this,
Go.
right? Okay. The second thing I wanted to say and clarify was if you need medicine to lose weight, there's no harm, no foul. Like I said on our pod when we were talking about a better us and getting healthy. Oh no, we're not doing medicine. It wasn't a prideful
We're
thing.
not on that stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't a prideful thing. It was just an honest thing. And if it came off prideful, I'm so sorry. But it wasn't. It was just being honest. Because some people that are using it aren't being honest, and I think that's what rubs me the
You're
wrong way.
apologizing, and then you're just laying in a whole nother thing that you're gonna have to apologize
But
for.
no,
Just
seriously.
move on.
I was just wanting to apologize for that. If you need it, hey, whatever helps you to get to a better you. And
Oh,
that's
and
it.
by the way, I asked Monica if I could hold her hand, and she declined. So I've been holding her phone the whole time, and it's an extension of her. So in my head, I'm hold that is much better. I was holding your phone and just saying that's as good as it's gonna get. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're
Took you
welcome.
long enough.
I love you.
All right, let's get the show on the road.
All right.
What you
So,
got for us? I got something too. I'm gonna cue it up.
through
Introduce something.
through a magnifying glass. That's our first segment.
Okay.
That was kind of funny that we were like through the microscope. It was totally wrong. Anyways, through the magnifying glass. Okay. Tell me how you feel about interrupting a thought, a sentence, a person in general.
Oh, ow. Okay, I have to speak from two perspectives because I do consider myself a podcaster, and you're gonna be doing that.
No.
Don't aha me. Okay, that was in Spanish too. Aha.
Uh-huh.
Okay, take it easy. Okay.
Okay, go on.
And so whenever I'm on the mic, I intentionally do it because I'm trying to accomplish something. And so I always tell my guests, hey, be aware I'm going to cut you off because you're going to be on autopilot in what you're sharing. And I don't want you to share the stuff that you shared 100 times or you're very comfortable with. I want to zoom in on things that maybe you haven't thought of. And so I'll interrupt, but I'll do it politely as possible. But in life, I'm notorious for still interrupting, but I can turn it off and on. You know, especially when people are very long-winded, I know that I have to jump in. If not, mentally I start disconnecting myself from the conversation because in essence I'm really not needed. And so I don't want to do that to that environment, so I'll jump in, and in the hopes is that they catch on after a few times. So your question was, do I like it or not? It's useful. For me, it's a tool for communicating.
What did you say? I disconnected. I'm just kidding, Sam.
I'm
All
about
right.
to do a coffee break,
All
like
right,
a
here we
solo
go.
episode.
Shut your mouth, Sam. Here we go.
Here, okay, let's try something.
The
Okay?
Okay.
Say shut your mouth, but very sweet, and then I'm going to do it too. Because everyone thinks we're doing it out of like, shut your mouth. Do it sweet. Go. Camera's on you.
Okay. Shut your mouth, Papa.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, my turn.
Okay, your turn.
Baby, shut your mouth. Okay, sorry.
Why you gotta look so cute for? Don't turn on that cuteness for everyone to see. That's just for me.
Don't do that. Okay. There's 1,000 people that think that I'm ugly as a dog. Like it.
You know what? Shut your mouth, Sam. You're interrupting my thought. Okay, here we go. All right. So I'm learning that interrupting, like, I see your perspective of like you doing it intentional. I guess that's a good thing to learn, to be intentional when you interrupt, right?
Yeah.
But I'm learning to not interrupt because I feel like, oh, I want to add something to that thought, right? And so I read this quote from Stephen Covey, and it was talking about he's like a master communicator, and I think you introduced me to him because you also consider yourself a master communicator.
You gotta put all my jam out
Which
there.
I feel like you're working towards that, right? Like you prove it. You're not just bringing it out from nowhere. So, anyways, he said that sometimes we interrupt because when we're communicating, we're not listening to understand. We're listening to reply.
A very selfish way to communicate.
Yeah. And so I'm feeling like, you know, that's me. Sometimes it's just to reply.
Yeah, I understand. That's hard to admit because it just depends on what the other person brings to the table. And I mean, I guess there has to just be good opportunities for both parties to speak. And people do not think of the balance of a conversation. And so, speaking about this interrupting and obviously like being a great communicator, when it comes to me and you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I obviously just put it out there that I do and that you do. What do you? How do you see our relationship as far as interrupting? Do we get things done, or do we just interrupt each other out of a great conversation?
No, I think for us it's usually a great conversation. I think you have that podcast mentality always on. I feel like sometimes um but what I have noticed is if I don't at the moment that you want to say something, if I don't let you say it, you forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, I don't know. Cuz you like that moment passed.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They're
so
moments for me.
yeah, and so you don't keep it. And so I got to experience that not
Mm.
too long ago.
Ah.
And it's not that it's an ugly feeling like, ugh, I didn't get to share what I, but it's like I really forgot. And up to that point, I was like, whatever. Sam's just playing me like he's just trying to be like, oh, I had something good to say, and now I can't say it because you didn't give me a chance.
I don't know why you did the face, but my thing is this: like, it's this
Cause that's what
way.
you look like. I should record it.
It's the way that I think it. So it's just for a moment. It's inspired by our environment, and
Right.
you're right. And so it's meant for both of us. It's not just meant for me. So that's why that happens. But here's another reason why I interrupt at times when people are talking, and I don't feel bad. I know when people are repetitive. Like I know whenever they say, like a while ago, you were giving an example, and you jumped three, four, five examples in,
Mhm.
and so I
Uh huh.
know. You need to shut your mouth, girl. Now, and so I'll jump in essence instead of saying, okay, that's enough example. Like, I feel like people need to respect examples more, and then they can pass the conversation along. But they're giving more and more and more examples, and behind that thought, they're trying to find what am I going to say next? Because I don't want to pass the baton,
Mm.
and I don't like that. So I'll try to jump in and cut those off, and then say I understand the example. If you gave it and it means what you're saying, then move on to the next thing. Because for me, it's the thought, not really. The example is just kind of makes what you're trying to say shorter, but
Mhm.
you still need to explain yourself. And so whenever you give multiple back to back examples, is because you have no clue how to explain yourself, and you're looking for it as you're just repeating yourself, just with in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's good. I think we
Okay.
also just have to be content. Sometimes we're not gonna be able to share everything on our mind.
Oh, I know. I'm okay with that too.
No.
I'm a great be quiet
Okay, it's not
person.
all about you, Sam. I'm sharing it because I'm learning it about me. It's my thought of being under a magnifying glass this time.
That was mean for you to say that.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways,
You're grounded.
shut, shut your mouth, Sam. So, I'm gonna try to make mental notes, and if I interrupt you, or not really you, because I think we have a good balance, you know. But if you see
Like
me,
right now, see, I'm about to interrupt you. Here's what I'm going to say, and then
mm,
it's going to help you say what you're saying. But I'm giving that to you. It's not in a rude way. We are obviously with each other all the time. We know
mm-hmm,
our mannerisms. We know when it's okay. You know in my eyes when I'm leaning forward, and so you're like, Sam needs to say something. So you start tone. You either make it quick or you finish. You know that, and so that really doesn't apply to people who see each other all the time. You have to find that cadence between each other, but it's hard with strangers.
yeah,
That's where it really gets interesting, and so that's where we need to continue to improve and get better. But I always put myself in that situation. It seems like I have practice in it, so maybe I speak from that perspective.
yeah, yeah. You know what? That is a good perspective, because
Perspective.
being a teacher, you're always interrupted, like every sentence. You know, every sentence, and so maybe that's why I'm like, "Ah, I gotta get it in. I gotta get it in. Wait, before I forget everything."
Yeah,
So
that makes
maybe that
sense.
has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. But
Um,
I'm gonna try to make a mental note. If you see me around people and you feel like, okay, Monica, you're interrupted a lot, just
um,
let me know.
Okay, so I have a funny idea. Imagine if we had to make mental notes by fake typing them into our brain, and we'd be like this. And you're like, okay, mental note taken.
You're so funny.
That was fresh. That was a dumb, creative idea that I just played out on here. I feel dumb for doing
Ooh.
it.
Okay.
Don't do that
Ever again.
ever again.
Send.
Because I have the Neuralink, and they put the keyboard for the Neuralink right here. So you're like, oh, damn. What's your phone number? Oh.
Yo, mad Sam. Oh my.
Okay,
gosh.
so I want to say I want to bring something up. Okay, it's so
Okay.
important. I read this quote the other day. I think I used it on the Failed podcast. By the way, tune in, subscribe. Thank you for following and supporting. Okay, so I'm gonna read it,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna throw in the discussion point. Okay,
Okay.
and so get ready. Here we go. It says this. It says, "Be yourself,
Mm.
so that the people looking for you can find you." Okay, this is speaking to people being fake, and it exists now more than ever because of social media. People's ideas of individuals is based on their post and everything, and it doesn't matter when it's someone far away from you that you don't know, that you only watch because you like their lifestyle, they're teaching you. I'm not talking about those people. There's an inner circle, and you're following, and there's some fakeness. Being fake is so it's a new thing that we're having to deal with in our relationship.
Mhm.
You know me, you know the home life. I know you, the home life. I know how you do things. You know how I do things. How do you deal? Do you ever say, Sam being fake? Am I being fake? And how does that make you feel? Where do we stand when it comes to that?
Okay. So that's, I mean, that in itself is such a great little topic that you're bringing, and I think it's for a better us. And I feel like
You do you.
be your
You
yes,
do you.
I'll do me, and together we'll do us.
You did it all wrong, girl. You do you, and then you like you, and I do me. So everything's. And
Oh man,
you
okay,
do you,
and you do you,
and
and
together,
together we'll do us.
booyah! We totally messed that up. I cut it. I interrupted, missing this whole thing up. That's a new segment. That's what we're doing here.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
what the Shut Your Mouth podcast is about.
Yes.
Continue.
It's about you, it's about me, and together we'll do us. Yeah.
Right here, right here.
Right here, right here. Boom. So I feel like when in a couple, right? In a couple, when you are yourself, so people can find you, it it's automatically connected to your spouse, automatically, because it's so dangerous for people to find you yourself without any connection to your spouse. Does that make sense?
Is that fake though? Are we talking about being fake here?
No, like, okay, so you had your project, so it might in moments it felt fake to me because I wasn't included in that project. Does that make sense? But I had to learn that that was a part of you doing you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I needed to find something for myself that was just me. And then together, when we bring it together, it makes us a better us. Because you're sharing what's you're learning about yourself, what you're finding, that you are liking, what keeps you growing, what keeps you challenged, as well as for me, what keeps me challenged, what keeps me growing, what keeps me like sharp.
Yeah.
And together we can make something. So whenever we're fake, it automatically cuts it out. And so people that don't live with me, people that maybe work with me, people that I hang out with, they know a different version of me versus the version that you get at home.
Yeah. For me, it's like, this is my thing, okay? There's so many people, individuals, who are very nice in public, at their job, bosses, whatever. And I hate whenever I know I would hate for this to be our truth where I'm a complete jerk to you and I treat you bad. I talk to you. I don't even talk to you. And then me and you go out. And as I'm interacting with people, you see me be nice and this and that. That's the fakeness that I'm talking about that you can't, you're like, what is going on there? I feel like people don't pay attention to that, but I feel like it exists. And it's so important to be your best, right?
Mm-hmm.
At home with the person that you love so you don't have to fake it outside so that it matches.
Well, that's what I was trying to say.
Well,
I don't
just
know.
say it.
I
Don't.
don't know if I was not being clear, but when you have a spouse, you have a gauge to say that's not who he
I
is
know,
or
but we
that's not who
don't.
she is. But when you're single, you don't have that gauge. So in essence, you can fail epically at being yourself so people can find you.
Yeah.
You're going to fail epically because you're going to be this version of yourself. And I think when you come into marriage, when you come into a commitment, like a relationship that's going to be a commitment, so many people suffer because they have this idea of who they are and then that person changes them.
Got it.
Am I taking it the wrong, like, you know what I mean?
No, just make your point.
I just feel like when you are in a relationship, a part of you is the other person. You can't avoid that.
Yeah, you're right. So tell me this, okay? Tell me an instance where somebody didn't match their social media persona and you met them in person and you're like, whoa, I thought they were, and they're so fake.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Well, you know, maybe I've seen like bosses go through this a lot
Mm-hmm.
where they hire people and at the interview they're this amazing person. On paper they're this amazing person and then like when they're in the work environment they're not.
Interesting.
Or vice versa, right? The boss may seem like an amazing person and then when you work for them they're not.
Let's take it away from the work and boss environment.
I'm just thinking
I get
about
what you're saying.
relationships
But I
because
see what you're saying.
you have a relationship. Like I'm blessed in my work, but let's see somewhere else. Like I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure like some influencers, you know.
I guess my question.
I guess I
like,
know
how
this.
real do you feel?
Me personally, or like people in general, because I think the thing that I can see is like upcoming influencers, right? You know, I got to witness a few moments where it was so stressful to put something together and then it was like 3 seconds of the video or 30 seconds of that moment and no one even knows everything that it took and how stressful it was, you know, for that family, for that moment. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, I like that. I like the direction that you're going there. And to me, we'll finish with this thought. And that is whenever, and the quote was this: be yourself so that people looking for you can find you. Whenever fakeness is involved, it comes at a price. There's stress, something doesn't feel right, and the payoff, it never balances out. Like, you know what I'm saying? The payoff is always smaller than than what you're putting in as far as being fake. And what I'm saying here for people, for me and you, is: do you feel like I'm an honest person with you when you see me do the Failed podcast, interact, do things like that? Sorry.
Was that your whole question the whole time?
We'll be right back. No. I had to find a direction
I
to
was
go
like-
because I felt like you were trying to
I
be.
took it too deep.
No, yeah, you were opening up
I
a
was
few
being
directions.
theological.
Theological. Amen. Thank you, Lord. No, girl. No. I just felt like you were going down a few directions, maybe that you've gone through personally. But I really want.
No, nothing personal.
Nothing personal. Girl, just let me say so.
Okay.
But go ahead. Go ahead, man. I'm just trying to zero it in. I'm trying to make it fun.
No. I just totally missed it. You wanted to be superficial, and I took it like way deep.
No, both are
Like
deep.
I totally imploded, or how is it?
Here's what I'm doing. I'm bringing something that's funny, and then I'm bringing a little seriousness, but then I want to, I want to keep it
Yeah.
lighthearted. But the true thing is that when you fake, it there's a price to pay. If I'm fake with you as a husband, and then we're out in public, and you see a nicer Sam, I'm hurting you.
Yeah.
That fakeness is hurting you way more, and I'm over here doing it right in front of you. Like, there's a price to pay, and it's not fun. And this is a call out for people to just be real.
Hmm.
But who tells you, hey, you're being fake? Who?
Nobody.
It's hard to tell people.
Nobody tells you, because I told a friend not too long ago, I said, I wish people would just accept the truth for the truth.
Mm.
Because if we all learn to accept the truth for the truth, we would grow. Like it would make us grow, but we cannot accept the truth, and that's why we have to lie. But anyways, I guess it's like makeup. That makes you fake sometimes.
There's some people that I don't know. I was just seen this in a book. I read about it, and
Well, I've seen some.
I wouldn't recognize them without it. They're
Mhm.
two different people, como
Yeah.
la cuata. It's like,
Yeah.
this your twin? Where is your other twin?
Mhm.
I'm joking, man. I'm being ugly, man. I'm
Yeah.
being fake.
Yeah.
Anyways, you close it out, girl. I was expecting something else.
Well.
I hope y'all didn't get too confused about that. If people looking for you, they're like, I'm looking for that guy. He's a super nice guy. He's really, and you're like, no. Are you talking about Sam? No. He's a jerk. I don't know who. That's why I couldn't find the person you were talking about, because he's so fake.
Now people change.
Go ahead. Open that line.
Well, I mean, people change.
Well, I know,
Like,
but that's such
you
an
can
obvious.
You
obvious
can be one
thing.
person at one decade of your life, but then at another decade, things can happen and you can change.
I don't want to take it that direction, because if you zoom out far enough on anything, then you just anything is possible. If you open the scope of people you're talking about, then anything's possible. I'm talking about a small group, maybe people we interact with, or things that we see firsthand. Yeah.
Okay. Shut your mouth, Sam.
We'll let you close that segment out.
No, Sam, I appreciate it. And if you're calling me fake in a nice way,
No,
I appreciate
that
it.
is not what I'm doing. When I
Sure,
first,
Sam, sure.
When I first met you,
Oh, Lord.
when I
Here
first
we go.
met you,
Mhm.
I did feel like there was a little bit of fakeness. How you?
Sam, I can't believe you said that. You totally called me fake in front of everyone.
No, a piece is. I saw how you interacted.
Gosh,
Interacted with people.
Vas
How
a
you
ver,
carried
vas a ver.
yourself around
Okay,
people,
vas
and
a ver.
but I saw the
Just wait
real
till we get
you,
home, Sam.
and I like that person.
Okay.
Anyways,
I didn't even talk to you about that day. I know exactly what day he's talking about. It was at the Starbucks on University in the parking lot
rest in peace,
when you told me that.
because that's not there.
Okay. All right, Sam. I'm going to move on. Because it's getting hot up in here. Me, myself, and I.
Your
Sam,
favorite song?
Sam, I read this post, and it's sitting really heavy on my heart.
Okay, do me a favor when you present this post.
Uh-huh.
Tell me what you want to, exactly what is speaking to you, and let's just try to stay on that.
Okay.
Go for it.
Maestro. Here we go. It says, the healthy tips .247 posted it, and I like following them. And it says, a wise man said, worrying does not take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace. So, it spoke to me because, well, it's not going to be in today's episode, but I've been dealing with a lot of death in my life lately. And so, obviously, the worry is like, I'm not ready. There's not a lot of things. There's not a lot of things. I haven't done a lot of things. Like, I need to get these things done. I haven't accomplished this yet. And my mind has just gone so fast, so far, so many times. And when I read this, I was like, you know what? I'm worried about tomorrow. And yes, I think we should be proactive and always be thinking about things that we need to do and create a checklist, all that good stuff. But it was literally taking my peace from today, and there's nothing I can do. I mean, at least not yet. I'm working on it, you know? So I'm working on that for myself. I don't know if you feel the same way. Like, do you worry so much about something that it takes today's peace away?
Tell me if I'm lying, girl, but I don't really worry about much.
Well, you're lying.
Fine. Why?
Because, okay, I've seen you worry about a job, an install,
Yeah, I mean, I knew you're
and
gonna point out
then,
the small things, but those are basic. That's almost like in my job description. I don't really count that as worrying, like as something that's out of my control. That's gonna like that's 20 years in the future. That I need to worry, and it interrupts the job I'm gonna do today. I think the job that I'm gonna do today or tomorrow is present, and then I do give it my energy. But go ahead and knock me down.
no, it's not gonna knock you down. Jeez, making me sound like just the most terrible wife in the world.
It's too extreme.
I
Your
was
example is
just
too extreme.
I was just going to say that I see you worry. And I know you're thinking about things that are out of our control. Um but I think what makes worrying bigger is all the little things that we do have control that we worry about.
Well, I was, I kind of looked into this just yesterday, but it wasn't about worry. It was about health. And in this thing that I was in, it was like all these health hacks. Sleeping, biohacking, a term that people are already getting annoyed by. I do this. I take this pill. I do this gym. I do this routine. And the doctor said, how about you just live life? Like you're
Mm.
spending all your time worrying about all those fitness health things to get better, but what good are those? I'd rather you kind of be a little bit unhealthy but be present and living, as opposed to wasting all your energy on research and doing and figuring out, because at the end of the day you just have to live.
Mm.
And so when you say about worry, I have to think, what am I worried about, and is it interfering with me laughing with you? And it's not. Is it interfering with me doing the failed podcast, the creative outlet that I have? It's not. Now I know it misses with aspects of it, but there's certain things that I measure. If my worry is getting too heavy, and I start cutting those things off, and I feel like it's been a good minute that I haven't, but I could be wrong. So, as my wife, you're free to correct me.
No, I don't have nothing to correct you.
But you understand? That's why
I
I
just have
opened with.
input, I guess.
But that's why in the beginning, I said, nah, I don't really worry. But that's the depth of it. That's
Mm.
how I measure it. I know if once those things go, if I don't laugh with you,
Yeah.
if we don't enjoy a meal, if we don't do the funny videos, if I don't do the pod, you're going to be worried about me then. You're going to say, well, how come you haven't done the failed podcast? How come you're not excited about this project or that? You would be like, well, Sam's worried about something and it's missing with him.
Got it.
Does that make sense? But think about this. Then there's people who don't have those indicators that you can't even measure whenever they're worrying, to the point that they're not growing or living because there's no outlets. So now you got to guess. And usually in those instances, it comes out and they take it out on someone. The people nearest them, they take it out on, because there's no releasing pressure.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of releases in my life.
Ugh.
You know what? That was
What?
so childish, but I felt like when I said I have a lot of releases, that I needed to do that for you to laugh.
Ay, Sam.
If you're watching, I'll probably just edit out what just happened, or I might leave it in. I don't know.
But that
Anyways.
was pretty funny. Well, okay. So, I
But
guess
give me your
that's
final thought. Why'd you bring?
well,
I mean,
I brought it up because I'm learning to, you know, find ways to calm the worries down.
mm,
You know, and obviously, like, some of our viewers might not be in a community like a religious community, but I know that God is always one, right? Like front and center. Um, and then I think the next one would be community, right?
Hobbies create
Yeah.
communities. Yeah.
Because once you get to talk about your worries, like it might bring a solution, or it could even just bring, you know, how
I have something to
sometimes.
add to that.
Okay, go ahead.
That talking about it might bring solutions.
Yeah.
I want people to be aware because we all grow up with friends and stuff throughout life, and we say, "Man, I've been talking to this friend for many, many years, and I bring up the same problem, and you seem to be coming in circle, you're going in circles about things." There's certain individuals who will not give you solutions or encouragement out of problems. They're just individuals that you can vent with. You
Mm.
need to identify those individuals and figure out who you can speak to that's processing it and saying, "I've been through it. Let me help Sam out of it." You got to also realize that, because then you have a false sense of releasing with someone, but really that person is just helping you nurture that problem, because there's comfort in being able to complain. There's
Mm.
comfort in being in a bad situation, as long as someone else justifies it for you and says, "Yeah, man, you have the right to be mad," because that's not right. And you can live in that space for a long time. But then someone will come along and say, "You got to grow up a little bit. That's a little bit immature. It's out of your control. It's time for you to make a change. Don't wait on whatever the situation to change." And so I think that was just worth it. So shut your mouth, Sam.
Mhm. Well, I just want to give a little shout out to all my friends,
Shout out.
because I think I have real friends that would tell me, "Girl,
I hope they're
mm-mm,
real.
like, that's not good." And here's the truth:
Mm.
they'll give me the chance to vent and to be in my little pity party, and then they're like, "Okay, time to get out. Come on."
What's one of the best memories you have of doing that with one of your with one of your friends, where you were like, "Man, they're a good friend." Like, you don't have to be.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Like I was feeling, throwing a whole little pity party, and then it was like, "Yeah, keep going." And then once I stopped, they were like, "Okay, are you ready to do something about it, or do you still want to be in it?"
I call you out.
Yeah, and I was like, "I guess I'm ready to do something about it."
I got you.
So
I love
I'm
it.
thankful for that. Um, but then also, I think the next one is feeling joy. Like, honestly, joy, because it's different from happiness. Because happiness, I feel like it's based on, I got new shoes, I got a new shirt, I got a new purse, like on happenings.
Okay.
Um, you know, but I think joy is different because it goes deeper. Like, it doesn't matter what it looks like, but you're still gonna find joy in having another day of life. You're
Can I
gonna.
can I coach this topic just a little bit?
Sure.
So you brought up joy and happiness, but why? It's kind of random. You're just kind of saying something that's good.
Because I feel like worry is so negative, and joy and happiness are like the positive thing. Or are you saying why I picked those two?
And why are you bringing it up?
Oh,
Give me an
because
example. What was the lesson, or what are you trying?
that
What
helped
you
me.
talking about?
That helped me not worry.
Well, now you're going back to worry.
No, because it's all based on that. Like, I'm learning a way to shut my worries down a little bit is to look at things that I'm joyful for.
Got it.
And to see that those joys came out of moments where I was worried, and to remind myself, you're going to be fine. You already did it.
So let me
It's
ask you.
here.
Let me ask you like this then. Forget what the difference between happiness and joy is. Then that, to me, that was a different line. What are a few things that you're joyful about that help you deal with the stresses that we're talking?
Well, I'm joyful for my family. Like, they bring me a lot of joy. My job brings me a lot of joy. Like, seeing the kids, and their faces just change every morning. Um, Danny brings me a lot of joy. You bring me a lot of joy. Believe it or not, doing Shut Your Mouth brings me joy.
Oh, me too, girl. I'm right there with you. Me joy. Me joy. You joy.
So,
Joy,
yeah.
joy. Say joy. Ready?
Joy,
Joy.
joy,
Joy.
joy, joy.
That's great. So, but you
So
see what
yeah.
I'm saying? So the reason I bring that up as far as like communication is whenever someone gives an example, you don't reopen a whole nother egg. That's a whole nother idea that's deep, right? I thought you were transitioning to you were going to introduce something new when it came to happiness and joy because I'm aware that there's a difference, but you were using joyful things as a solution to you
Mhm.
dealing with it. So that's why I want to say, hey, just keep the line straight. You don't need to say, and then you go happiness. Oh, happiness is, and then you have two other points, and in joy you have two other points, and then those points, so you keep getting further, and you do not care what I'm saying. So go ahead, baby.
No, no, I'm listening.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
I'm done.
interrupt you. Are you done?
I'm done
Okay,
for real.
for real. Well, thank you for coaching me in that. I appreciate it.
I regret it.
Why?
I don't. I seem like I look like I offended you.
No, 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 no. I just wanted to make sure
It's
I
not
was.
for you.
I was
My
wanting
coaching
to.
is not for you.
I was wanting to make sure that I was clear because the reason before you rudely interrupted me that I
You don't.
introduced
You're gonna take away
that
who I am on the show by making me feel
I
bad.
introduced the word happiness was because when I was thinking about times that I was happy, it was making my worry higher because I'm like, oh, but then when I was happy, then it ended this way, or then I did this and then it went away. But then I realized the things that I was joyful or brought me joy, they're still there, and it doesn't matter what this looks like, you know?
Mhm.
So that's why I brought those two words in because it's different.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyways,
You want to talk about that?
no.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you
You're welcome
for today.
for today.
Yep. For this episode. I'm learning to be intentional.
What do you mean by that? What's the before and what's the realization?
Okay, so
Do
recently
you get mad when I do failed podcast
No.
stuff? Okay,
No.
go for it.
So recently I've been writing a lot more, which that's going to be, another episode, but I've been writing a lot more, and I wrote a poem about that saying that people say, like, life is too short, and then they don't do anything about it, and I'm obviously including myself in it, and I'm done saying that. Like, I'm done saying life is too short, and then there's nothing that I'm gonna produce after that. Like, it's just a thought, like, oh, we gotta enjoy it because life is too short. Like, that's just, I'm done with that. I'm done.
What are you
with that.
replacing it with?
So, I'm gonna, if I say it, it's because I've already started changing things. Does that make sense? Like, if I bring it up in a conversation, or if I say it to a friend, hey, we need to call each other more because life is too short. But if I bring it up, it's because I've already been changing the way we phone call, right? Changing the way we text, changing the way we meet up for coffee.
Let me see if this helps you draw this idea out. People use it. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I could be right.
You're so
I was testing you. I was seeing you were listening. I could be wrong. Okay. So people will say something like, "We don't talk enough. Life is too short."
Mm-hmm.
They're almost saying right? They're almost saying this. Hey, you need to call me more, as opposed to owning up to it, right? Because in essence, you should be saying that to yourself.
Yeah.
And all the other person should see is the action. But whenever you say it, you're trying to split the responsibility. And you want now you're like, life's too short. I did my part, but you didn't do yours because I said life's too short to you and you agreed. So that's like, it's not fair. Say it in private to yourself and then step up to the point where you think it's good enough, where it's fulfilling enough.
Yeah. 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 I mean, here's the truth. I was using it as an excuse.
Do you have an example?
Yeah. Okay. So there was a conversation, and then it was like, yeah, if it's not this, it's another thing. And I'm like, I know. Life's too short, so we just need to do it. And it was like another way to say hashtag sorry, not sorry. another way of saying I'm too busy, and it's like, well, are we too busy, or are we just not like prioritizing right, or maybe managing our time right, where we don't have time to fit in these special moments that are gonna be meaningful and intentional. So I'm learning that I don't want to say life is too short anymore unless I'm doing something about it.
So see this also. First of all, I want to see if it makes you laugh. Have you ever seen someone eat something so bad, right?
Mhm.
And then they also have a piece of cake, and they say, and you're watching, say, "Man, life's too short, man. I just gotta enjoy it."
Mhm.
How is that awesome? Because I think it's misused in what you're saying, but I also think it's misused in people's actions like that, where they're doing something that they know, they go, life's too short.
But it's an excuse, right? Like life's too short, and then they're like eating something unhealthy, but it's an excuse to say, I'm excusing myself. Don't look at my health. Don't look at what I'm doing because I'm putting it on you. It's almost like a guilt thing. Life's too short, and then you're like, oh yeah, that makes
It can be weaponized for sure.
sense. Mhm.
Finish this statement for me. Instead of next time I'm about to say life's too short, I should replace it with.
I don't
Because you
know.
don't want to say it anymore. So what
Oh,
do you
okay.
what like? I'm not speaking just for you, but individuals. So then what? What
Yeah.
do we say? What should it be? Because if it's hard.
So what I'm gonna try to do is, what day can we meet? I'm gonna call you at 7. You know what I did with the friend? Not so, I did this with a friend because we kept missing each other.
Mm,
So we were like, let's FaceTime each other. Let's make our own cup of coffee, and that's gonna be our coffee date.
I like it.
Because she's a very busy mom. I'm a very busy mom, and so we're like, let's just do it. We can't meet physically,
Yeah.
but let's make our coffee. And it was the best cup of coffee I've had.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. And so we're planning another of those dates.
Sounds good.
So instead of
Test
saying,
1, 2, 3.
in,
I spoke and I didn't hear myself.
instead of saying like life's too short, I would say, okay, when can we meet again? Or what date are you free? Like that's what I've been doing with some friends. Hey, can we meet? Instead of saying, I miss you. We haven't been able to see you. It's like, hey, can we meet this day?
Can I give one?
Yeah.
Instead of saying life's too short, make a list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Journal
Mm-hmm.
and put life's too short. Here's things I need to change. Write them down, and that's for you. And I think that that'll keep you from saying life's too short because you've already examined yourself and you're like, life's too short. I need to learn how to play pickleball. Even though it's not a real sport.
Sam.
Yeah, and you go, life's too short. I need to spend more time. I need to call my mom more often. Life's too short. I need to eat healthy food. Life's too short. I need to go to Six Flags. Whatever. Then you don't have to say it as a reflex
Yeah.
that has no value in a conversation. You're literally just saying, like you said earlier, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to be honest. All those empty statements that all of a sudden life's too short becomes an empty statement.
Yeah. Well, I, now I understand what you're asking me. So I changed it from life's too short to the time is now.
Boom. See? Say that again. Say that again.
The time is now.
The time is now. I love it. I think that's great. That I love. I have nothing to say. Boom, girl. I have nothing to add.
Okay.
But I'm gonna add this. I'm joking. People do that too, and I don't like it. They go, "Man, that's good. I'm done," and then they continue talking. But no, really, thank you.
Yeah.
I hope that helps you. I really do, man. I mean, that's the goal here. Is like, let's have fun. Me and Monica have fun talking, but there's lessons in conversation.
For sure.
Did you feel like we accomplished? What did you feel like we accomplished today? I know I got on your nerves like 1,000 times.
I think we were able to kind of clear some things about, how to be a better version of yourself, how to, accept truth, right? And hopefully how to be intentional. I mean, that's what my goals were. But I just want to say thank you for sharing your time with us. Your time is very valuable to us. Like, we don't want to ever waste it. Um, Even if you're using it to wind down, to relax, to make table talk conversations, we value your time. Every person watching. So thank you so much.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Shut Your Mouth, Sucker. I mean, it's just shut your mouth. I don't know where the other part came in.
I
But
don't know either.
thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, share, give us some love. You know, it's easy to push subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. We're putting up some funny content just to make you laugh. Sometimes we all need a little bit of laughter. But what we're doing here, let me see if we, oh my gosh, get this right, Sam.
It's taking an adventure.
You do you.
You do you.
And together,
We'll do us.
that is what we're doing here. Guys, y'all be good. Tell them bye. Tell them hi. Whatever you want.
Bye.
Bye.